Welcome to Show 7, Dreams Solidified. Hopefully by now you've made your choice from the states or things that I put forward in the last video, and you're now ready to bring them directly into your life. The first thing I want to do is to get you to recall from the last video the concept or feeling of relief. What we need to do now is attach this feeling of relief to whatever you desire. Now of course this raises the question, how can you feel relief for something that you've not yet obtained? Well, this is where we start to bring in your imagination, and this is why I impressed the importance of understanding the word imagination so much. Do you remember what our definition is? It's so important that I suggested you write it down. Just in case you didn't, here is the definition again. The faculty of placing oneself or others into different states which are not actually present to the senses at this time or space. Okay, so relief and imagination. It's now time to start a little practice. What I want you to do is to close your eyes for a moment and imagine that you are actually achieving the thing you desire. It is actually in your possession. Or as the case may be, it has happened to the person that you wanted to help. It is vitally important that you give this all the tones of reality. That is, you bring to your senses every aspect you can think of that would be present if the thing or situation were now in your possession. For example, where are you standing or sitting? Who else is around you? Are you inside or outside? If you're in a room, is the furniture around? If so, look at the colour of this. Touch it in your imagination. Place yourself directly in the scene with all of your senses. If there are other people around, what are they saying? At this stage, I would like to tell you a true story of how, if done properly, you will never lose this power. About 8 years ago, I was taking a stroll with a friend along the seafront here in Spain. We got onto the subject of how to give imagination the tones of reality. He was open-minded and we decided to give it a go. So what I did, I asked him to choose a pebble from the beach, one that he would like to take home. We then sat down on the wall and I asked him to close his eyes and listen. I asked him to describe to me every one of his senses that were picking up all that was going on. We covered a lot of things, right from the sound of the sea, the children playing, even the waiters clearing tables nearby. I explained to him now that whenever he wanted to experience this day again, to simply pick up and hold this pebble. Throughout the years since this event took place, he has on many occasions told me that this pebble is as powerful today as it was that day all those years ago. All he has to do to take himself right back to that very day with all the feelings is simply pick up that pebble. As a side note here, if any listeners are familiar with NLP techniques, they'll maybe recognise this as a form of anchoring. And Milton Erickson, one of the greatest hypnotists ever, used this way before NLP practitioners decided it could be packaged under a new banner and charged for. Now, regardless of what anyone thinks of nicely packaged systems of success, I'm telling you that there is nothing new out there, and you do not need to purchase anything or get someone to sit opposite you and teach you success. Everything you desire is already created and is yours for the asking. It is not a gift that can be taken back or evoked in any way. It is already yours. It is already part of what and who you are. The totus unus principle is a simple process of activation. This is why there is nothing to buy. Why would you want to pay somebody for something to do something, or to do something for you, or to give you something you already possess? So, getting back to our dreams. Dreams solidified. What you need to do now is to practice solidifying your dreams. What are dreams at this stage? They are simply your imaginations. The act of solidifying them is the act of stepping into the dream and making it real. Now once again we're pushing for time, but I did promise you the story of one person who decided to, as he put it, prove it did not work by imagining something that was so bizarre it would not come true. Now this is perfectly okay if you want to do this, providing the exercise is carried out with 100% commitment to the process. He chose a simple act of climbing a ladder. He said he didn't possess a ladder and said even if he did, he would never climb one. Several weeks passed and true to his word, he carried out every instruction. See, nothing happens, he says. And then he just forgot about it. A few days later, he was driving in an area that he was not familiar with. He turned into a side street and immediately came into contact with a distraught woman. He said she literally pulled him from the car and marched him to the rear of a house. It transpired that she had walked out to hang washing and the door slammed behind her, leaving her newly born baby alone in the house. She was begging for help to get back into the house. The gentleman in question noticed a small window open, picked up the ladder laying in the garden and started to climb. He said as he got to about 7 rungs from the bottom, a shiver ran down his spine. In moments the door was open and the baby was safe. He said he got back into his car and laughed so loud as he was driving along that he was sure other drivers were looking at him like a madman. The moral of this story is, be careful what you let your mind imagine, for if you give it all the elements of reality, it will surely come to pass. In the next show, I will offer direct instruction on everything we have covered today. I'll actually step into the process with you so that you have a complete understanding of the procedure. So Kate, take care of you and yours until next time, and the next show, which is going to be the shock of time travel.